Iva, welcome to the Six Figure Coach podcast. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you because we just met 7 minutes ago.
I know. It's so exciting to be here with you, Dallas. And likewise, I can't wait to dive in and have this amazing episode and call with you.
Yeah, I think that what you're facing in your business, so many coaches can relate, especially newer coaches, because the world is your oyster, right? When your business is brand new, and it can create a little bit of decision paralysis. So it's my intention to help you get out of any paralysis you might be feeling about what to focus on and all the shoulds that might be holding you back. So let's get into it, shall we?
Yes, let's do it.
Great. So what do you want to walk away with from our time together today?
So today I would love to really be able to get a better, clear direction of whether trying to continue pursuing this multi-passionate direction in which I have two platforms that I'm really excited about, and I feel they complement each other so perfectly. And so just exploring that avenue, if that is even possible, or is it best to just take it one baby step at a time and really just laser focus on one aspect, while understanding that, you know, you can always get back to the next steps eventually, or things naturally just evolve as well.
Yeah, I don't know that there's a right answer to this, because I think we can make, I'm using air quotes for all of our listeners, smart decisions that don't inspire us. And then why are you bothering to work for yourself?
Right.
Right. You can go get a job that doesn't inspire you.
Right.
So all right, I think we need a little bit of background. So can you walk me and our listeners through the two platforms that you're developing so that we have the full picture, and then we'll problem solve here together?
Yes, absolutely. So my first platform is really geared towards creating a connected world for families. And with that, what I mean to say is that my core message is obviously to the parents, but also to the way that they are connecting with their kids through their parenting journey, and how things in the past decades have started to shift, but also how important it is to keep that connection through mindfulness and meditation, and how we can empower our kids to be more resilient, to be more prepared to all the unpredictableness and chaos that it's part of the world and it's part of life, in a way that this generation is definitely stronger, more resilient, and more joyful. Because as parents, that's the main aim that we have. So being able to create this connection alongside them is a big mission for this platform.
Great. And what is the name of the business, Iva?
It's called Kidaku.
Okay.
Kidaku. Yes. So it's spelled Kid, and Aku comes from the Japanese term called gateway. So it's a gateway into the world of children.
Of kids. Oh, that's so great. How clever.
Which is pretty much the gateway that we all enter when we become parents. We enter into that world because we have forgotten about it. Being adults, we're not really in touch with that. But then our kids come along, and then we suddenly have to be there again.
Yeah. Okay, great. What about the other platform?
So my other platform is bringing out the moms of these families that are connecting with their kids, that are in the mindfulness space, that are really trying to up-level themselves, both personally and professionally, and bringing them out of that into a more women's circle type of place. And in this platform, I really get to work with them so closely with this unique mom energy that I coined momergy. And it's this natural buoyancy of motherhood that comes through, no matter what we are being faced with. We just don't question a lot of things when it comes to our role as moms. We just are trying to show up, and we're trying to do the best that we can. And at the same time, it's helping them within the space to have a little bit of unlearning about what that motherhood journey should be about. There's a lot of limiting beliefs surrounding motherhood and how we can start to reinvent that for ourselves in a very unique way.
Yeah.
So I am working with them, starting off with one-on-one sessions, but it's not coaching. It's called RTT, which is a type of rapid transformational technique or therapy.
Yeah.
And we really work on them in that space to pretty much heal those, that I call it the pebble in the shoe. So when we're kids,
got it.
we adopt those limiting beliefs somehow, somewhere, and then we suppress them or we forget about them. We step into adulthood, and it's all fine. But then our children come along, and then they start to press some buttons that we didn't even remember we had, and we get triggered in many different ways. And we have no way of predicting that. So it's really amazing to see that, because I experienced it myself. And it took me a while and a lot of studying to understand where all of this was coming from. And sometimes most of the challenges that we have with our children are not because of anything that they are doing particularly or necessarily to us. It's us projecting or this unconscious things from the past coming up and taking hold. So
completely. Oh my gosh, I've said that a million times, that motherhood is just a daily invitation to work on your own unresolved issues. That's all we're doing.
Absolutely.
Right? That's great. Okay, great. So we have the Momergy work, and then we have Kidaku. When we were preparing for the recording, you mentioned that, wait, am I getting ahead of myself here? Okay, let me just, for our listeners, I want to loop everybody in. My understanding is that you have equal passion about both businesses. And if you could do anything, you would build them both from scratch right now and move them forward.
Yes.
And you're experiencing some tension there. It feels like that may not be a wise decision. It feels like maybe you're slowing down the progress by trying to do it. It's just a big question of like, is this smart to try to build both?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
How for you are they different brands? I don't see them as different at all. I feel like this is the Kidaku brand, right? And underneath that umbrella, I wish our listeners could see me because I'm really expressing with my hands today for some reason. Under the Kidaku umbrella, we have an offering RTT for moms, and then the connected family work.
Right.
So they don't sound different, like different companies to me.
Well, for me, it's mostly in the sense that I am doing some mindset work or more related to that inner work. And also within Kidaku, I also have other plans to delve into physical products as well, but also talking, to parents as a whole. So men come in the picture and children come in the picture, because this is something that you can also apply to children. The RTT method can also be applied to teenagers, can also be applied to kids. So that's where I feel that I don't want my message, what I'm doing with the Momergy movement, to get diluted, because it's very specific. It's very gender specific. It's women talking to women. We're in this female space of sorts, but Kidaku is more on the playful side, on the connected side, on the redefining also parenthood. What does it mean to be having fun while you're parenting? Can that even be possible? What does that even look like? So it's more a I would say it's a space where everybody comes together. So it's very feminine, and then it's all together, but it is the same moms. And that's why I mean that they are very interconnected, but at the same time, they have sort of their own spaces. And that's where I feel that my message should be a little bit more specific to one and the other, depending on which platform I'm talking to.
Yeah. So if we could wave a magic wand and you walked out of this conversation with complete permission from yourself, of course, to build both companies at once, what needs to be resolved, or what needs to happen in order for you to have that permission?
I would say the main thing for me would be how does the core message of what I
Mhm.
want to offer,
Mhm.
to both universes, so to
Mhm.
speak, really stays integral with what I am offering, what am I all about, and
Yeah.
not getting parents and moms to be confused and not
Yeah.
understanding, okay, but you're saying something here, and then you're saying something else here,
Yeah.
or how does this even mesh? How does this even look like? Or
Sure.
that it can be applied, translated into family life, for example, if it's a mom that I'm approaching first, or the
Sure.
other way around, if it's a parent
Mhm.
that I'm approaching with regards to their family, and how can I take them also into this journey if they feel so, as a mom, compelled to want to join.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
I have a feeling that there's a switch that's going to get flipped because I think you're complicating this. I could be
Okay.
totally wrong.
Okay.
I'm crossing my fingers that you're complicating this.
Maybe,
So,
yeah, maybe I'm looking at it from the same optic for such a long time
yeah.
that I
Yeah.
need this new perspective.
Yeah. Well, so there's a few analogies I could give here. The one that's coming up for me is my house. Okay.
Uh-huh.
My house, I have my office. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The decor is different. Like the colors are kind of a muted pink, and I have a lot of macrame. None of my plants are real because I kill them, right? But they all look really good.
They look amazing.
Right. So this is my vibe up in the office, right?
Mhm.
On the main floor, we've got my husband has his yoga studio, my daughter has a playroom, we have our dining room, kitchen, and family room, and then on the ground floor we've got our sleeping areas, right? Our
Mhm.
bedrooms and that sort of thing.
Okay.
You can tell the house belongs to me
Mm.
no matter what room you're in. Even though I promise you, the vibe in the bedroom or in my husband's yoga studio are totally different.
Mm.
But you can
Mm.
tell that each of us lives here.
Right. Yes.
So there is this really beautiful through line. And what I heard you say was that it's the mom who wants the RTT work is the same mom who wants the connected family work. They're not, the avatar is actually not different. It's the offering that's different. Some days the mom might hang out in the kitchen, and
Mhm.
other days she might go into the kids' playroom, but it's in the same house. And if you approach this thinking of them as completely separate brands, rather than one of them being a room in the house, you're creating twice
Mm.
as much work for yourself.
Yes.
And it's
And I think,
not necessary because the audience, from where I stand, based on what you've shared, the
yes.
the the audience, the buyer, right, is the
Mhm.
same.
Yes.
So let's
Mm.
look at this through the lens of the Offerings Bullseye. This is something we talk about inside the Six Figure Coach Club.
Mhm.
And I just talk about building your business out in layers.
Mhm.
So here's what that might look like. And I'm going to use my old coaching business when I worked with actors because I had tons of programs. So it's a better example.
Okay.
So everybody grab a pen and paper, right? Or just imagine a bullseye. We're starting at the center, Eva, and we're going to build
Mhm.
out in rings.
Okay.
So when I worked with actors, at the center of my bullseye was private career coaching. That was the thing that was easiest to get off the ground, right? I
Okay.
didn't have to design any curriculum. I didn't have to have any course platforms. There was no work, just me and clients, right?
Right.
That was the work that also informed other offerings, other rooms in the house.
Mhm.
So I kept
Mhm.
seeing the same things happening over and over again with these actors I worked with one-on-one. So that second ring became a program called the Blueprint, the Actors Business Blueprint, where I just gave them a roadmap. Like, you want to build your career? Great. Here's your monthly calendar. Do these things and you can have your career.
Mhm.
Solving that marketing problem, right? What
Right.
arose from that ring, so ring number 3 here, was okay, all this marketing stuff is fun, but I don't have any confidence. I need confidence in order to put myself out there. So I
Mhm.
created a program which was very terribly named, but it was called The Breakthrough. Okay. And that was all about building the inside of you so that you could put yourself out there.
Okay.
graduates of the breakthrough didn't want to stop working with me. So I created a membership called the Thriving Artist Circle for graduates of the breakthrough. And then Thriving Artist Circle members had very specific questions over and over again. Like, boy, it'd be really great to book a job this month. So I created a program called the 42-Day Book a Job Challenge, and another one about just about finding representation. And then like it just kept going and going and going, so much so that coaches then started saying, wait, what are you doing and how can you teach me how to do that too? And here we are, right?
Okay.
Now, the actor who hired me for private coaching, same person who did the blueprint and the breakthrough and the Thriving Artist Circle, like all of those offerings, they were just different rooms in the same house.
I love that analogy. It really, really paints a picture for me
Great.
right now. Yes.
Great. So my feedback for you would be, why not build one house and it can have a lot of rooms, right? But now if we imagine, I'm just going to really take this house analogy probably too far. But if we've built the house and now it's moving day, we're going to move all the furniture and the boxes in, but let's unpack one room at a time.
Okay.
That's going to help you feel the most, it would help me, I'll speak for myself, feel the most grounded, the most productive, the most informed. And I'm going to bet the whole house will get unpacked much more efficiently if I finish one room and then move on to the next and then move on to the next. That's what building your business out in layers looks like. So you can do it all, and it'll all move forward pretty quickly if you have one audience,
right,
clear vision of what everything's going to look like when you're operating at full speed and what room you're going to start with.
I love this. This gives me so much clarity right now. Thank you, Dallas.
Great.
Because yes, as you say, probably I was trying to look at it from a more complex perspective in which, okay, so now this is this branding, this is this other messaging, and now I have to have multiple things to say, but differently, but not really, and just creating double work for me, which is definitely not what I want. Completely. So I really, really will grasp and also take it and run with it with this analogy, because it really, really helps me to understand that, yes, okay, I can own the whole house. Like I actually, it's mine, but not necessarily on moving day. I need to have all the rooms ready and perfectly set up from day one. Yeah. Like I can be more efficient if I just start unpacking the boxes that belong to this room first, and then move on to the next ones as they come.
Great. So here's what I propose. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, now that this analogy feels really clear, let's identify some next steps for you, maybe around some areas in the businesses where you felt a little stuck. We'll just keep going with the metaphor. Let's take a break. We'll come back and unpack some boxes.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, great. Welcome back. This is Dallas Travers. I'm here with Iva Perez. We are doing some unpacking here.
Yes, it's moving day. It's moving day for me.
So fantastic. Okay, so you came in. I'm just going to perception check here a little bit.
Yeah.
I think what we've landed on is you came into this conversation really feeling like even though the audience is the same, the two brands need to be super different. And maybe that's not actually true. So what happens if we have one brand and then different offerings under that umbrella? So now let's take a look at areas at where you're feeling stuck right now. So you've got this new clarity that it's okay to have everything under one roof. So where are you feeling stuck that you could use some insight on?
I would say that for me, it's presenting the core offering at the beginning, and understanding what would your suggestion be on also making that transition and saying, also it can apply to your family. You can also, translate it into this other room, so to speak, if we continue with the analogy, without making it seem like I'm being pushy or salesy, but just for them to really understand that there's more rooms that they can explore within what I'm offering and what my services are.
Yeah. So let's just imagine a mom who invests in RTT with you because she realizes that motherhood has opened up opportunities for her own healing.
Mm-hmm.
How on earth would it be pushy or salesy to let her know that this important work is also available to her whole family?
Yeah, it's true. It's more giving her a glimpse into, hey, this can also help you in other areas of your life, not just for you internally and for your own inner work, but also that your children, your spouse, your partner can also benefit from it.
Yeah, well, and so being pushy, right, or salesy, another word for that might be rude, right? To me, the rude thing to do would be to hide the fact that this important work is also available to her family,
Yes.
right? The big service here is a connected family, not just a mom who's on her own healing journey.
Yes. Yes, it's because I'm seeing it from that mission of saying, if the world is going to change and it's going to go into a better direction, it starts with the family.
Yeah.
The family unit is really the basis of moving forward and the new generations to understand how they can be better empowered and how can they find more happiness in what they're doing. So definitely it starts with that family unit, independently of what it looks like, because family units are very unique to one another. But regardless, even more specifically in those cases where the family units are blended, but where there's different dynamics to it, it's also even more important to bring light into this and saying, hey, there's a way for everybody to feel truly connected.
Yeah. Okay. So what I heard you ask was, how do I take that core? How do I communicate with that core offering that there are these other possibilities?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Now, I wonder, I don't know the ins and outs of how you package your RTT, so I'm just going to make up an example here. I think it'll be clear enough that we can then adjust.
Yes.
But what if you had even a chocolate and a vanilla package? Maybe chocolate, vanilla, and red velvet, who knows, right? So one offering would be for the mom who wants the RTT work, right? One is for the mom who wants RTT plus, which is the connected family training, her own work, right? Plus the connected family training. And perhaps there's an option for just the connected family, but I wouldn't start with that. You're giving people too many choices.
Even going into those three options would be too much. It would just be one or the other, like A or B.
What we practice inside the Six Figure Coach Club with discovery sessions, right? And I just find that even on a sales page, this is a great place to begin. Your business is pretty new, right?
Yes.
But with discovery sessions, I love a chocolate and a vanilla option, because now the invitation, instead of it being yes or no, the invitation is which one, which changes the energy of that conversation.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, absolutely.
It's so different, right?
And it's a trick that all moms know, because when you want your kid to do something, you don't give them a yes or no leading question. It's more like, okay, either this or that, you choose.
That's so funny. That's so true. And then we add that third element, and a confused mind says no.
Yes.
Right? So maybe for starters, if we're thinking about your offerings bullseye, in the beginning, it's focusing on the Momergy movement.
Right.
Right? Starting with moms. Moms can do RTT on their own, or they can do RTT plus the connected family. And then you'll start to see where you get pulled. Like, I like to remind our club members that the Offerings Bullseye, it reveals itself. Your second offering, it reveals itself to you once you start working with people.
Yes. Yes. That is very true. I love that. I love this approach of presenting and which one would you like, and but not to the extent that they would be so confused that, as you say, then they would say no. It's I don't know what I want, actually, so I'll come back later.
And
Yes.
then also, you're not waiting for the big reveal of, oh, and there's also this hidden family work I haven't told you about yet from the
Uh-huh.
beginning. Because now with your messaging, you don't have to hide a part of what you're doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
From the
Mm-hmm.
beginning, people come in, your target audience, it sounds like it's moms,
Yes.
right, who want to have a deeper connection with self and a deeper connection inside of the family,
Mm-hmm.
and they
Yes.
can they can choose their own adventure from there, do their solo work or solo plus family work. It's just very clear.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Mhm.
That's that's a really great insight, Dallas. And it really helps me to also start thinking how to be more clear on the messaging, especially on those, as you say, on those discovery calls with them. So from the get-go, they already know what else they can experience in case they just choose one,
Yeah.
as opposed to the family training, for example, just to give it a name, but that they know that it exists. So if anything, they can always come back and say, oh, actually, going back to what you first were offering, I would like to also see what this one is all about now that we've done the, for example, the one-on-one RTT.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
completely. And it struck me earlier, you talked about how with this RTT work, when moms begin that journey, unresolved issues begin to get triggered through
Mm-hmm.
our children,
Oh, yes.
right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
it just, to me, I maybe I'm being redundant here, but I would be confused if you didn't have an option to serve families as well. To me, it makes more sense that you would have this complete offering for these moms. They want this for their family. So the
Yes.
more you
Yes.
can see them as being integrated, the more streamlined your messaging will be, and therefore you're going to bring in perfect match clients.
Yes. Yes. And that was the main hiccup that I was having,
Yeah.
which I felt that by talking about a family unit, I was making it more an impersonal entity. So it's
Mm,
what's a family, right? My family doesn't look like that family that you're describing, or does it even apply to me? So I felt that the messaging could be very diluted, and I felt that I was feeling more clear if I was just talking to the mom, because
yeah.
to the mom, it's just that one person, is that one avatar, as you say.
Yeah.
So that was the part where I was feeling a bit confused, because I said, well, I do still want to help the families. I still believe that connecting families, like parents really enjoying their journey while their children are young, and that they can really experience that in a very positive way, instead of feeling frustrated and anxious and
Mm,
stressed, because we already have enough of that in our adult world. It would be a great service that I'm passionate of offering
yeah.
and putting into the world, right? So that was the main hiccup that I was having. I wasn't really sure how to transmit the message, or how to even go from one to the other, as you say, from the bullseye
Yeah.
upwards.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, if you could give yourself permission to just talk to the moms, your messaging is going to it'll naturally connect these two offerings, because
Okay.
that's your perspective,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
So I vote for letting it be easy.
Yes. Yes. I also feel so too, that it's a natural transition.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
Yeah.
natural step.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if I'm speaking to a mom, she has to have children somehow, somewhere. She has to be having a family of some sorts around her, that is part of her journey. So I really would like her to understand and to know that yes, we can do work on her, but we also have this amazing opportunity to explore, so she can
Completely.
feel that she's completing the picture for herself as well, and what she wants.
Completely. Yes. I just had
Mhm.
this other realization. There could be some moms who may not feel like they have enough time or openness or worthiness to just invest in something for themselves. But
Mhm.
investing in something for the family, they will be all in. So you may
Yeah.
find that some moms come in through the gateway of the connected family work, right? And that's how you get them
Yes.
into the real work of healing themselves.
Yeah. Oh, yes. That is so
Vice
true. And it's
versa.
such a very spot on behavior
Yeah.
that I have it as well. I don't go out and buy things for myself, but if I see something for my kids, I don't even think twice
Yeah.
because I know it's for them. So yes, you're absolutely right on the pulse of how usually as moms tend to tick.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to our families, we don't have any hesitations whatsoever, especially our kids. We're just like mama bear taking over. But when it comes to us, we always are second guessing. Do I need it? Do I really want it? Is it necessary? Can
Right.
this really
Maybe
help me?
later. Yeah.
Maybe later. It seems very
Mhm.
indulgent. I don't even have time. So
Yeah.
yes, that is so
Okay.
true. I love this. Thank you.
Great. You're welcome. Okay. So let's summarize and then I want to hear from you what your next steps are. So we came in
Mhm.
with these two separate businesses. We realized that they're allowed to be roommates. So now, and you don't have to change the names or anything, right? It's just,
Right.
and am I saying it right? I've forgotten now. It's Kidaku or Kideku?
Yes.
Kidaku.
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 Yes.
Great.
Yes.
So that is just an offering under the Momergy movement umbrella,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Great. You also now have one audience,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Moms
Yes.
who
Yes.
who crave connected families and all of the healing of the world that comes when families are connected.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm. Yes.
one message,
One message, one audience.
two
Yes.
offerings, right? Do you want to just
Mm-hmm.
work on your own stuff first? Or do you want to work on the family stuff and yours in conjunction?
Right.
Great. All right. So what's your next step around this as we wrap up?
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to go full into making sure that I am integrating this offer
Yeah.
when I'm having the discovery calls, when they're coming to me, that they are aware that it exists. And the way that you just put it out there for me, I feel very, very confident in being able to just to talk about this as well without having this hesitancy that I was having at the beginning. But I
Yeah.
said, I don't want to be salesy or pushy or saying like, well, now get this and now there's this add-on and now this other thing. But just as a way to come out from the get-go and saying, you know, you can go A or B. They're
Mhm.
both going to help you. They're both going to get you to where you want to go, and these are the options for you to choose, and then they will feel even more empowered because they know
Yes.
that they have that extra alternative
Yep.
on the table. So I will definitely go and yes, laser focus on my avatar, which I
Yep.
know now that is just the moms,
Mhm.
and they are the ones that are going to get to choose which flavor of the
Okay.
offering that they want, but that it is there because yes, it had been sort of in the back room,
Yeah.
in the basement, hiding
Mhm.
somewhere, because I really wasn't sure how to unpack that. I really didn't.
Right. Oh, well, I'm so glad we had this conversation. I feel really clear. You sound really clear. I think it's a job well
Yes.
done.
Yes. Thank you, Dallas, so much. This
You're
has been
welcome.
amazing and very enlightening for me. And I just want to thank you for this opportunity to have this time and space with you, because really, just very quickly, you were able to unravel what was in my head.
I'm so glad. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And thank
Thank
you
you.
to our listeners for tuning in. We will see you back here next week. This is
Thank
Dallas
you.
and